What if I told you my neighbor just spent $4,200 on an emergency vet visit that could have been completely avoided? Her golden retriever, Max, was rushed to the animal hospital at 2 a.m. and when the vet handed her that estimate, she just stared at it in total shock. But here's the thing, and this might be a surprise to you, 80% of the health issues that send dogs to the vet are completely preventable, with 5 simple things that most pet parents completely overlook. I'm about to share 5 overlooked factors that can keep your dog healthy and save you thousands in vet bills. These aren't extensive supplements or fancy gadgets, they're just simple, science-backed strategies that most people miss entirely. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the early warning signs before they become expensive emergencies. Look, I get it, we all want to be the best pet parent possible, but sometimes the most important health factors are hiding in plain sight. After researching hundreds of preventable vet visits and talking to veterinarians about what they see most often, I've discovered something shocking. The majority of expensive health problems start with just 5 overlooked areas that we deal with every single day. Today I'm going to walk you through each of these 5 factors, backed by actual research, and show you exactly what to look for. We'll cover everything from the hidden dangers in your own home to the subtle behavioral changes that signal serious health issues weeks before they become emergencies. And here's what surprises me the most. Some of these are so simple that you'll wonder why no one talks about them. But that's exactly the problem. They're so basic that most people assume that they're not important. And trust me, they are. Here's something that will blow your mind. According to the American Veterinary Dental College, 80% of dogs show signs of dental disease by age 3. 3 years old. But here's the kicker. Most pet parents have no idea because early signs are just so subtle. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah's experience. She noticed her dog Buddy had slightly bad breath, but she figured that was just normal dog breath, right? What she didn't realize was that this was the first signs of periodontal disease. 6 months later, Buddy needed emergency dental surgery that cost $2,800 plus antibiotics for a systemic infection that had spread from his mouth to his bloodstream. The research is crystal clear on this. A study published in the Journal of Veterinary Dentistry found that untreated dental disease doesn't just affect the mouth. It can lead to heart, liver, and kidney problems. The bacteria from infected gums enters the bloodstream and literally attacks your dog's organs. But here's what most people miss. You can catch this early with a simple weekly check. Just lift your dog's lips and look at their gums. Healthy gums should look pink, not red or swollen. If you see a yellow or brown buildup on the teeth, that's tartar, and it's already a problem. The easiest prevention? Raw carrots. I know, it sounds too simple, but the abrasive action of chewing raw carrots naturally scrapes away at that plaque. A study from the University of Pennsylvania showed that dogs who chewed raw vegetables had 60% less tartar buildup than those who didn't. And if your dog won't eat carrots, try this trick that I learned from a veterinary dentist. Freeze some plain unsweetened yogurt in an ice cube tray. The probiotics support oral health, and the cold hard texture helps clean teeth naturally. Okay, this one shocks me because it is so basic, yet so many people get it so wrong. Chronic dehydration is behind a huge number of preventable health issues, from kidney stones to urinary tract infections to digestive problems. Here's the thing most pet parents don't realize. Dogs need about 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight daily. So a 50-pound dog needs roughly 50 ounces of water. That's over 6 cups. But here's where it gets tricky. Most dogs don't drink enough on their own, especially if they eat dry kibble. A study from the Journal of Animal Physiology found that dogs eating exclusively dry food were chronically dehydrated 40% of the time, even when water was freely available. The researchers discovered that these dogs had higher rates of kidney disease, bladder stones, and urinary tract infections. But there's a simple fix that most people never think of. Add water to their food. I started doing this with my own dog after learning that wild canines get most of their hydration from their prey, not from drinking water separately. Here's my exact method. For every cup of dry food, I add about half a cup of warm water and just let it sit for 5 minutes. This not only increases hydration, but also makes the food more digestible and releases more aroma, which dogs love. Another trick I discovered: cucumber. Remember how I mentioned it's 90% water? A few cucumber slices as treats throughout the day can significantly boost hydration while providing vitamins and fiber. The warning signs of dehydration are subtle, but critical. If you gently pinch the skin on the back of your dog's neck and it doesn't snap back immediately, that's dehydration. Sticky gums instead of moist ones is another early sign. This one will probably surprise you because the biggest threats are things we use every day without thinking twice. According to the ASPCA Poison Control Center, household cleaning products account for over 15,000 pet poisoning cases annually. And those are just the reported ones. But it's not just obvious things like bleach. A study from Tufts University found that dogs in homes where lawn chemicals were used had a 70% higher rate of bladder cancer. The researchers tracked over 700 dogs for 6 years and found that even dogs who weren't directly exposed, meaning they were just walked on treated grass, showed significantly higher cancer rates. Here's what really opened my eyes. Air fresheners and scented candles. The Environmental Working Group found that many contained pH phthalates and volatile organic compounds that can cause respiratory issues and hormone disruptions in dogs. Their sensitive noses mean they're getting a much higher concentration of these chemicals than we are. The solution isn't to live in a bubble, but to make smarter choices. I switched to vinegar and water for most cleaning. It's just as effective for most jobs and completely safe. For lawn care, I found that corn gluten meal works as a natural pre-emergent herbicide without the cancer risk. One thing that shocked me, those automatic air fresheners that spray every 15 minutes? A veterinary toxologist told me they see respiratory issues in small dogs that correlate directly with homes using these products. The early warning signs are subtle. Excessive panting, when there's no reason, frequent scratching without fleas, or changes in appetite. These can all be signs of low-level toxin exposure that's building up over time. Here's something most people don't realize. Chronic stress in dogs suppresses their immune systems, just like it does in humans. A groundbreaking study from the University of Lincoln found that stressed dogs had 40% lower immune function and were 3 times more likely to develop infections and diseases. But here's the problem. We often miss the signs of stress in dogs because they don't express it in the same way that we do. Dr. Karen Overall, a veterinary behaviorist, identified over 20 subtle stress signals that most pet parents interpret as normal behavior. Let me give you an example. Excessive licking, not just grooming, but obsessive licking of paws, legs, or surfaces. It's often dismissed as a quirky habit. But research from the Animal Behavior Clinic at UC Davis showed that this behavior is actually a stress response that can lead to secondary skin infections and digestive issues. Another huge one, changes in sleep patterns. Dogs should sleep 12 to 14 hours per day, but stressed dogs often sleep less or have restless sleep. A study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs with disrupted sleep patterns had higher cortisol levels and were more prone to illness. The biggest stressor that most people don't consider? Lack of mental stimulation. Dogs are intelligent animals that need mental challenges. A bored dog is a stressed dog, and chronic boredom leads to destructive behaviors and health problems. Here's a simple solution that made a huge difference for my own dog. Puzzle feeders. Instead of just putting food in a bowl, I use puzzle toys that make her work for her food. This mimics natural foraging behavior and provides mental stimulant that reduces stress hormones. Another game changer? Consistent routines. Dogs thrive on predictability. Feeding, walking, and bedtime should happen at roughly the same time each day. Research shows that dogs with consistent routines have lower stress hormones and better overall health. This is the big one that everyone knows about, but most people underestimate. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, 56% of dogs in the United States are overweight or obese. But here's what's really scary. The health consequences start much earlier than most people realize. A landmark study followed over 1,500 Labrador retrievers for their entire lives and found that dogs who were just 10% overweight, that's barely noticeable to most owners, lived on average 1.8 years less than their ideal weight counterparts. But it's not just about lifespan, it's about quality of life. Overweight dogs develop arthritis earlier, have more respiratory problems, and are at higher risk for diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. The Veterinary Cancer Society found that obese dogs have a 50% higher cancer rate than dogs at ideal weight. But here's the part that really surprised me. Most pet parents have no idea their dog is overweight. A study from the University of Glasgow found that 85% of owners of overweight dogs rated their pet's body condition as ideal. We're literally loving our dogs to death and don't even realize it. The solution isn't complicated, but it does require a little bit of honesty. You should be able to fill your dog's ribs easily with a little bit of light pressure. Not see them, but fill them. If you have to press hard to fill ribs, your dog's overweight. Here's my exact approach. I measure food instead of eyeballing it. Most people pour food until the bowl just sort of looks right, but that can be 30 to 50% more than the recommended amount. I use an actual measuring cup to follow the feeding guidelines on the food packages as a starting point, then adjust based on my dog's body condition. The other game changer, I replaced some of the kibble with low-calorie vegetables. Instead of giving a full cup of kibble, I give 3/4 of a cup of kibble mixed with a 1/4 cup of steamed green beans or carrots. Same volume, fewer calories, more nutrients. So there you have it, 5 overlooked factors that can keep your dog healthy and save you thousands in vet bills. Let me quickly recap what we covered. First, dental health. Check those gums weekly and use raw carrots as natural tooth cleaner. Second, hydration. Add water to dry food and watch for those subtle dehydration signs. Third, environmental toxins. Switch to natural cleaners and be mindful of lawn chemicals. Fourth, stress management. Provide mental stimulation and maintain consistent routines. And fifth, weight management. Measure food portions and be honest about your dog's body condition. The research is clear. These 5 factors prevent the majority of expensive health problems that send dogs to the vet. But here's the thing, knowing this information isn't enough. You have to actually implement it. Start with just one of these factors this week. Maybe it's adding water to your dog's food, or maybe it's doing a weekly dental check. Small changes compound over time, and your dog's health and your wallet will thank you. I'm curious which of these 5 factors surprised you the most. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've noticed any of these warning signs in your own dog. I read every comment and try to respond to as many as I can. And if this video helped you understand something new about your dog's health, hit that like button. It helps other pet parents find this information too. For more tips that can save your pet and your wallet, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Next week, I'm diving deep into the hidden dangers in common dog foods that most pet parents never think about. You won't want to miss that one. Hit that like button because it... Next week, I'm diving deep into the hidden dangers in pet parents. Shit. Secondary skin infections and digestive issues. My friend got a $4,200 emergency vet bill that could have been avoided if she just knew that